Hey, Restoration, this past Sunday we started our new series on the book of Romans. As I mentioned, most of the teaching will take place on Sunday mornings, but there's going to be times where I skip certain passages or certain verses for the sake of time or the cohesiveness of the message. But I want to come back to those that I've missed on Thursdays, right? And so what I want to do today is in Romans chapter 1, verse 8. I kind of skipped over it this past Sunday, but let me read it to you. So after Paul introduces himself, he addresses the church. And here's what he says about the church in Rome. First, I thank my God through Jesus Christ for all of you, listen to this, because your faith is being proclaimed throughout the whole world. Why is that significant? Paul'd never been to Rome before, not to the church. And yet he's addressing these believers, some again who were converted from Pentecost, some were Gentiles like me and you and had given their life to Christ, but there had been such a change inside of them. They had experienced such a beautiful salvation that their faith was beginning to be proclaimed, Paul says, throughout the whole known world at the time, right? It was going, the gospel was advancing because of their faith. Here's my encouragement to you and my question. Is your faith, is our faith here at Restoration, is it being proclaimed throughout our city? Is it being proclaimed, listen, where we live, work, learn, and play? In the first century, the church at Rome, Jesus had transformed them and they had experienced such a new life in Christ that, listen, from their being a follower of Christ, a new creation, from their being, there was some type of doing, whether it was gospel proclamation through word or gospel proclamation through deed, their faith was being heard throughout the world. My encouragement to us, Restoration, is may that be true of us, starting with me and starting with you. Can we, out of our being, a brand new creation, Jesus died on the cross for my sins. Nothing I can do to receive anything except for receive by faith the work that Christ did. Because of that, may the words of my mouth proclaim the gospel and the work of my hands proclaim the gospel out of my being. Restoration, I am thankful for you and I'm thankful for what I see God doing in this church. I just know that God is not done with us and he still wants to use us in mighty ways for our good and for his glory. Listen, a couple things coming up, lots of stuff below the video. I want to encourage you to check those things out. But specifically, we have Easter coming up on April 20th. And by now, you should probably know and be familiar with the whole idea of us kind of ticketing those services so that we can prepare well for you and for your neighbors that'll be attending with you. We expect big things on Easter, and so if you would, please take a moment, register for your tickets. Of course, they're free. We're just trying to plan accordingly. Super thankful for you, and again, what I think God is doing here at Restoration, and I think Easter Sunday is just going to be a small glimpse of what he is doing and what he's going to do throughout this year. Be on mission. Love you, church.